if the guy wanted to split on the first date, and I know some of you said you're fine with that, if the guy proposed, hey, let's split the bill, in as diplomatic or nice as in the most flattering light that one could say that, would there be a second date? Would you object to a guy wanting to split the bill? Would there be a second date? Because we've had girls come on the show say, no, if the guy wanted to split, there wouldn't be a second date.
I think I would take that and thought of if I want a second date, but if he's a really good guy and I really enjoyed it, then I wouldn't let something as simple as splitting the bill affect the next date.
I think we know your position. You're cool with paying. What about you?
Yeah, in this economy, it's fine if both people pay.
Oh, okay. I thought you could have taken that in either direction. In this economy, men should pay for the first date. Okay, go ahead.
I also think it depends on the date. I mean, a lot of guys don't think outside the box anymore. It's just dinner. But there's all kinds of activities that you can do on a first date. If the moon is full, go out and walk underneath
the moon is. Oh, so
yeah. Go out and walk underneath the full moon to nature or whatever. And if you happen to come across a street vendor, buy your own, or
But what was your answer to the first question? You said that men should pay, right?
If a guy
asks, he should
for a traditional setting.
So let's say one of your young studs asks you out on a date. He asks you, do you want him? Or excuse me, would you be upset if he said, hey, let's split this
I wouldn't be upset about it.
Meal.
I would probably have to wait for a payday.
Okay, what about you?
That wouldn't affect my decision. It's better than him telling you to pay.
Okay.
Second date? I don't know.
You go on a first date with a guy. He says, let's split the bill.
I feel like if you ask me to go on a date, you should be prepared to pay or make it known before.
Have you ever asked a guy out on a date?
Not on a date, but I've gone out with a guy and paid and not mind.
A guy you already knew who you'd been seeing for a while?
Yeah, and not mind because I knew that they're a little brokey, so I'm all right.
Okay.
A little brokey.
Okay, but if a guy did ask to split the bill with you on a date,
I would
he had
just
asked
be
you on...
why weren't you prepared? You wanted to set this up. I wasn't. I don't know. I'd just be I probably wouldn't go back.
CM donated $99.99. If you want us men to act traditional and pay the bill, then be traditional women and not have a full roster. When the girl is exclusive, then our wallet is exclusive. Stop buying dinners for girls talking to 73 guys on Tinder/Bumble. Don't be a sucker.
Facts. That's facts, CM. Well said. Well said. So there wouldn't be a second date. You'd think he's a brokey. What was the other stuff he said?
Just be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared for
I feel
the
that
day.
goes for both ends.
He is prepared to pay for
both
himself.
ends should go into the date having money just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not I'd probably pay for my share and then be nah, I'm good.
So you wouldn't have a second date with the guy?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It just depends on the vibes. It's not
Such
gonna.
a non-answer. Okay.
No,
Priya,
it is.
what about you?
It's yes. There would be if it was good. If we're splitting the bill.
Yeah, but there wouldn't.
What if the vibes were bad, but he paid for it? Would you still go on a second date with him?
No, there's.
Yes.
Is your face okay? Are you having a seizure?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I was just okay.
It would not affect my decision for a second date or not.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
You ever offered to split the bill on a date?
Oh, all the time. All the time. I'm the king of splitting the bill.
What a rabbit hole.
Not surprised.
I am the king of splitting the bill. Look, so if I can tell that the girl is worthy, then I'll pay for it. Then I'll pay. It's not. I won't make a big deal out of it.
This isn't a girl I want to be dating, so.
Yeah. But if she's a non-traditional chick, you might ask me, Brian, why are you dating a chick that's
Brian, why are you dating a chick that's non-traditional?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Why put money into someone you're unsure about, though?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, why waste
first
your time?
date, that's, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think the women should pay the whole bill, actually.
But they're unsure about the guy too.
Yes, not
So it should be
I'm
50-50.
kidding. No, that's my troll. That's my troll answer. My real answer is that okay. There's a couple different angles. First off, as a guy, if you want to min-max your success with women, you should pay for the first date. Let's get that out of the way. If you want to min-max your success, you should definitely pay, because there are some women who are going to object to having to split or whatever. Now, on a purely principle level, I think that in the current dating landscape, people are moving in very shifty ways. People are talking to multiple people at the same time. People are dating multiple people at the same time. People are sleeping with multiple people at the same time. And my standard is, I would feel like a sucker if I like took a girl out on a nice date, did all the gentlemanly, chivalrous things, all the while she's fucking like 1, 2, 3 other dudes. And you might say, well, Brian, wouldn't you know if she's moving in that sort of way? There are some very unassuming women. They could be pleasant, they could be shy, even on the more introverted side, and have a roster and be sleeping with other dudes, talking to other dudes. So just the way the dating landscape goes, I feel, and also I think that people go on so many first dates, like you will hear from people that, like, girls, for you guys to get a first date, it's super easy. Like, if you guys wanted, any girl here could probably, if you wanted to, go on 5 first dates a week, maybe more.
I feel like that's kind of your ego, though, because like what's like $50 or $100? Like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's just food, or it's just like
$50 or $100 for a lot of men. That's a lot.
Ego?
Huh?
What does that have to do with ego?
Because he's like, I would feel. What'd you say? I feel
like a sucker.
Like, why would you feel like a sucker? Because you're paying for a girl's
Well,
food?
I mean, if you take out a girl, and she's got a roster of dudes, somebody sent in a super chat a few minutes ago. They were like, women want the traditional treatment from men, but why as a guy would I be motivated to treat a woman traditionally if she's not living a traditional life? Like, why would I want to roll out the red carpet for a woman and treat her so right if she's got like a whole bunch of dudes she's sleeping with? Why would I ever want to do that?
To add to that, a lot of women want the benefits of being modern women while still receiving all the benefits of traditional male courtship.
That's facts.
So for example, here's one scenario that I've frequently given. Let's say you said $50 to $100 date.
Or $20 or $40. I don't know. It just feels like.
Even if I would not recommend men, even if you're inclined to pay the entire bill, don't spend that much. You can go get something reasonable, like a cup of coffee. Actually, maybe
a cup of coffee.
You can do a free date. You can get a cup of coffee. You can go grab, a drink, glass of wine, whatever. But I don't want to be in a situation where, for example, and this happens to a lot of dudes. You go on a date with a girl, spend $50, $100, maybe you get a nice dinner or whatever, and then date goes well. She gives you a hug at the end of the date. Date ends at 9 p.m. She then goes over. Oh, bear in mind, there's some leftover food, so she got a doggy bag. She took that doggy bag over to the guy's house who she's fucking, who, by the way, never paid for a first date, never took her out. He's just some hot dude who's always 11 p.m. on a Friday. What you doing? Come over. Never had to do any of that traditional courtship, but he's really attractive. He's charismatic, or whatever is the attraction trigger for her. She just goes over to his house immediately after the date, gives him the doggy bag of the food that your date just paid for. You give him the food.
I know, but why is the scenario always that the girl is like a hoe? Like, there's guys that are hoes too. But you're portraying this whole like, oh, the bitch got a whole roster.
No, well, I mean, it goes the same way. If you're with a guy who's like a player,
but girls invest into their date too. Like,
hold on. If you're with a guy who's a player and he's like sleeping around with a bunch of women, but you're a woman who wants to be with him, like, you shouldn't offer him your exclusivity and your devotion and like your support.
Okay, but like you said, like he just said about how the guy doesn't know what the girl has going on. The girls sometimes don't know what the guy has going on either. So, and girls put in a lot of work for their dates. They get their hair done, they get their makeup done, they get their nails done. That's
you do
just
that
as
shit
money.
Anyways. Well, let me address. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Do you want to finish your point and I'll respond?
No. I'm just like feeling a lot of like, okay, like, why does the bitch deserve like a date
Your
for
words,
me to
not-
pay.
I didn't say bitch,
Okay, like
just
why does the woman deserve to get paid for when like I don't really know what she has got going on? Like time like will tell everything. So the girl's taking that chance too, figuring out who the guy is.
Right, but the difference is that on a date, as a guy going in, the most that I can expect is to split the bill. Very few guys can go into a date with the expectation that she's going to pay for everything. So it's specifically it's not an equal dynamic in that sense, in that men are either going to be paying for the entire meal or splitting the bill.
If you're a traditional man, you're the provider, right? And you're saying, but you don't want to lay out that red carpet for the girl,
That's
right?
not what I'm saying. If I take a girl that I really like out on a date, I'm going to pay for the date. But if I find out, I mean, if I wouldn't date a girl that was doing this anyways, because I can just like tell.
That's what I'm kinda
But like if I took out a girl who was like talking to other guys and stuff, and I could detect that, there's 0% chance I would roll out the red carpet for her.
Okay, so.
But like if I'm getting to know a girl, I'm still going to pay for the first date. Sometimes though, there's been girls that I've detected like a possible princess complex with, and I've taken them to like very inexpensive places and then not paid for their meal just to see how they would react. That's a fun little test that you can do as a guy too. But it's like what Brian is saying. Look, he has a different style. Like if he doesn't want to pay $50 for a first date, that's like his preference.
Mm-hmm.
If I really like a girl, I'm going to do it.
It's a bit much.
Has that happened to you before, where like the girl was like sleeping with? Is that why you think that, or you just are nervous?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's the
common.
modern dating marketplace. Like, you take a girl out here in Isla Vista, for example.
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it because I would never do that.
It's like this.
There's a lot of women
crazy.
who move like this.
You take a girl out here in Santa Barbara, for example. There's a pretty high chance that she's like
Talking to other guys.
Yeah, talking to multiple guys at the same
And the
time.
guys aren't? Or like,
It's not about whether or not the guys are. The point is, if you like a girl and you want to take her out around here, there's a high chance that she's talking to other guys. And if you know that she is, it's like, why would I roll out the red carpet for you if you're talking to these other guys?
Completely flip
Because
the
maybe
script
she could
then.
be the one though.
Yeah, maybe.
So like,
Just depends
it's
on
like
whether or not.
rolling your dice. Like
Depends
I'm
on
gonna
whether or
cheat.
not the guy wants to take that gamble. you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a chance situation.
Wait, why do you do the princess treatment thing?
Why do I do the princess treatment thing?
You want them to like not be princessy, so you like test them.
Yeah, I've
an
like
entitlement
for
thing.
example, there was a girl that was a model that I took out like 8 years ago or something like that, and she was like super sought after in the industry, and like fashion models often have like a lot of guys throwing themselves at them with a lot of money, and I was like, yo, let's go to Chipotle. I'm not gonna pay for your meal. Let's just see how you respond. And she was totally cool with it, and she was super humble
so then
and down
you
to
find
earth.
out she's a good person.
Yeah, and I was like that, and like
Yeah.
when I found that out, I was like, I would be down to really invest money in future dates.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I really like your character. But if on
That's
the spot, if she had been like, "Are you kidding me?" I would have been
Yeah.
like,
I
"Nope,
feel like
peace."
in the situation that we're coming up with, though, you would probably know that about a person if they're like talking to other people or like have that
No.
kind of attitude. Well, if you're asking them on the first date, you probably met them at some point.
A lot of
in
people
some
meet
type
on
of-
dating apps.
That's
and,
true. That's true. I wouldn't.
I
Ever use
mean,
that, so I wouldn't know.
there's a lot of unassuming women who you might not think that they're seeing multiple people, but they are. And look, guys can move in shady ways too.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
goes both ways.
Yeah, it
like
definitely goes
if
both
you're a
ways.
chick, feel out the guy. Like don't commit yourself to a guy if he's not like going to commit
But then
to
that
you.
goes back to why you should just probably split it.
Sure.
Split the check.
Sure,
You can.
Well, you were saying something about how women do a lot more to get ready for the date. Did you want to
like
elaborate?
they invest. I don't know. I don't know if anybody can like.
No, yeah.
I agree. I see what you're
Like
saying.
guys, they
What?
get a
What?
haircut, they take a shower.
No.
I wouldn't say that
I
guys
have a question,
don't
though.
invest.
mean,
I've
you're
got
taking a
I've got a
shower.
lot to say about
Better be a
that.
clean
But go
boy.
on, go on. I've got a
What
lot
do
to
you
say
guys
about
do?
it.
I would like to know.
What men prepare themselves for years. See, if a guy is asking,
years?
listen. If a guy is asking a girl out on a date and she finds him attractive, she finds him valuable, he's got confidence, he's got game, all that kind of stuff, and she says yes to going on the date with him, he prepared himself to become that kind of man for years in advance. All you have to do as a woman is just show up to the put on your makeup and just show up to the date. The guy has to work on his career to be able to take you out to a nice dinner. If you're into fit guys, he's got to spend years in the gym working on his physique. He's got to make something of himself so that he's successful and has confidence. There's years of work that go into it beforehand. It's not like the guy just
regular guys that just take, like, there's guys that don't have a crazy career. There's guys that don't have a crazy body that ask girls on dates. So.
Yeah, for sure. But if you want, if you're a guy who wants like a really high value, very attractive woman, like it's a different story, you know. And a woman like that is going to want to doll herself up and want the guy to pay for the date. But there's work that goes into that.